What if the person you're waiting to love you already does, and the only thing keeping it from showing up is the story you keep telling yourself? Welcome to the Neville Effect, where we explore the power of imagination and assumption. Today we're diving into how acting as if someone already loves you can transform your inner world and reshape your entire reality. The moment you truly grasp what imagination is, everything changes. You no longer sit around hoping someone will love you, begin living from the assumption that they already do. You stop depending on the outside world to reassure you, because you realize it's only reflecting what's happening within you. It's not the source, it's the echo. When you deliberately step into the feeling that the person you desire is already deeply in love with you, something unseen begins to reorganize. A new reality starts forming. You impress a new state onto your consciousness, and whatever state you consistently occupy will eventually express itself. If you can genuinely feel loved fully and deeply, it must show up in your life. That's not wishful thinking, that's law. Acting as if they're madly in love with you isn't about pretending. It's about aligning with the understanding that your inner world creates your outer experience. It means mentally and emotionally living in the end result before it becomes visible. Many people believe love has to be earned from the outside, that they need to chase, impress, or convince someone. But the truth is much simpler. When you assume you are loved by them, they begin to reflect that assumption. Not because you're controlling them, but because at the level of consciousness there is no separation. The version of them you engage with in your imagination is the version that shows up in your reality. Everyone plays the role you assign to them internally. If you constantly see them as distant or uninterested, that's the version that appears. But the moment you truly decide, that they are completely in love with you, you plant a seed. And that seed must grow. What you're seeing right now in the outer world doesn't matter. It's just a reflection of past assumptions. It's delayed. But the second you shift internally, when you feel the reality of being loved, your future begins to rearrange itself. This isn't about putting on a show for others. It's about shifting within. Your thoughts change. Your inner conversations soften. You move from uncertainty into calm certainty. Instead of longing, you feel knowing. And knowing is powerful. To know something is yours is to claim it. Pause for a moment and imagine what it truly feels like to be adored by them. Not a weak or uncertain affection, but something intense, undeniable. Picture them thinking about you constantly, wanting to hear your voice, choosing you without hesitation. See them looking at you with warmth, making time for you effortlessly, expressing their love openly. Let that feeling become familiar. When you hold that assumption, your entire energy shifts. You carry yourself differently. The need to chase disappears because, in your mind, you've already been chosen. And that internal shift is what influences them, not your words or actions, but your certainty. What you accept as true within yourself is felt by them, no matter the distance. Everyone reflects your inner state. So if you want different behavior, you must change your assumption first. Don't worry about when or how it will happen. The moment you start questioning the process, you fall back into doubt. And doubt cannot produce fulfillment. Only the feeling of already having it can. This is why acting as if is so powerful. It means embodying the reality now. It means hearing them speak lovingly to you in your mind. It means imagining their messages, their voice, their affection, and accepting it as natural. You're not fantasizing. You're selecting a reality. Some people hesitate because they think this might be delusion. It's not. Imagination is the starting point of all creation. Everything that exists was imagined first. You don't need permission to experience love internally. You only need the willingness to trust what you feel inside more than what you see outside. Now picture the version of yourself who is already loved. That version doesn't feel anxious or insecure. They're calm, confident, at ease. They don't constantly check their phone or question things. They move through life with quiet assurance. When you become that version internally, everything around you adjusts. You become magnetic. You become the center. Everything begins within. If you want to experience being loved, you must first become the version of yourself who already is. Not later, now, because if you can't feel it now, you won't experience it later. Too many people try to fix the outside without changing the inside. They focus on actions, strategies, or appearances while ignoring their internal state. But the real work is always within. Once that's aligned, everything else follows naturally. When you take on this new identity, everything shifts. You're no longer the one waiting, you're the one being pursued. You're no longer unsure, you're certain. And people feel that shift. They respond differently because you see them differently. You cannot hold the same internal image of someone and expect them to behave differently. But when you change that image, when you see them as loving and devoted, you give them space to become that version. Every thought you consistently entertain is setting something into motion. When you imagine their love, feel it and hear it within, you're reshaping your reality at its core. This isn't about faking anything. Faking is hollow. Acting as if is rooted in belief. It's an internal shift, not an external performance. If you can hold that feeling, even briefly each day, it will begin to feel natural. And whatever feels natural eventually becomes real. Imagine the moment they finally express their love. See their expression, hear their voice, feel the warmth in your chest. Let it feel real, let it feel inevitable. Your imagination is the blueprint. There is no force outside of you deciding your outcome. What you assume becomes your reality. If you assume they love you, they must express love. If you assume they're drawn to you, they must come closer. You're not forcing anything, you're choosing the version of reality you experience. Stay in that state. Live from it. Let it feel like you're normal. When doubts arise, don't fight them. Just return to the feeling of being loved. You are the one in control. The only thing that can block this is your own disbelief. And even that fades when you choose differently. Step into the version of yourself who is loved, valued, and desired. Speak to them in your mind with affection. Receive their love with gratitude. Move through life with quiet confidence. As you stay consistent, something begins to shift. They show up differently, more open, more attentive, more drawn to you. You've changed the inner pattern, so the outer world must follow. This is the power of assumption. Love is not something you chase, it's something you allow. And when it finally shows up physically, you won't be surprised. You'll recognize it as something that began within you long before it appeared. So live from that place now, feel it, accept it, and watch how everything begins to align. As you continue living from this state, your daily experience transforms. You stop searching for signs or overanalyzing their behavior. Instead, you carry a calm certainty within you. That calmness changes everything. You feel peaceful instead of anxious, grounded instead of uncertain. Your presence itself begins to reflect the feeling of being loved. You no longer need constant reassurance because internally it already exists. Old thought patterns fade, replaced by new ones filled with affection and certainty. This is the true power of inner work. When you feel loved within, you no longer depend on the outside world to validate it. At first, you may notice small changes, subtle shifts in how they behave, but you don't cling to those signs. You appreciate them, but your real confidence comes from within. Over time, the feeling becomes natural. You smile more, you feel lighter. You begin to treat yourself with more kindness because you're no longer fighting for love. You're resting in it. Your imagination becomes a place where love is alive and real. And as you return to that state again and again, it becomes your default. This takes consistency, not force, not urgency, just gentle persistence. Day by day, you build a new identity. And once that identity is stable, life reflects it back to you with precision. You are not just imagining love, you are becoming someone for whom love is natural. And when you become that person, the world has no choice but to mirror it. You begin to show up in life differently. There's a gentleness in your heart and a quiet certainty within you. You treat yourself with more care, more respect. You allow good things to flow into your life without questioning whether you deserve them. That's the real power of assuming you are already loved. You stop pushing away what was always meant for you. As your inner world becomes steady and filled with love, the outer world starts reflecting that same energy back to you. Love becomes the natural response you receive. People feel drawn to you because you've aligned with your true nature, the one who creates, who chooses, whose assumptions shape reality itself. And the person you desire feels this shift more than anyone. They sense the change in your energy. They feel the invisible bond strengthening. Something within them begins to move, a pull to come closer, to open up, to express feelings they may have never shown before. Your new inner state invites them into a new version of themselves, one where they love you deeply, openly, and without hesitation. Their words begin to change, their behavior softens, their emotions evolve, and all of it stems from the image you now hold within. Because consciousness is one, that inner shift flows through them naturally. As time passes, the connection between you deepens. It feels warmer, stronger, more alive. You begin to sense their thoughts, their affection, even before it's expressed outwardly. Not because you're hoping, but because you're already living in that reality within. You move through your days with a sense of quiet companionship, as if they're already part of your life, even in silence. This isn't imagination in a childish sense. It's creative power in motion. It's the awareness that every feeling you carry inside is shaping what unfolds outside. Because you hold the feeling of their love, you no longer feel alone or uncertain. You don't feel like you're waiting anymore. Instead, you feel like everything is unfolding exactly as it should, bringing you closer to what you already experience internally. Each time you return to the feeling of being loved, you strengthen that connection. Every moment you revisit their affection in your mind, you reinforce the state you've chosen. And it doesn't feel like effort, it feels natural, even comforting. There's something deeply peaceful about resting in the feeling of being cherished. Closing your eyes and hearing their voice, feeling their presence, it becomes something you genuinely enjoy, and every one of those inner moments plants a seed in your subconscious, a seed that must eventually grow into physical reality. As this feeling expands, the old version of you begins to fade. The one who doubted, questioned, and felt unworthy, that version dissolves. Not because you changed anything externally, but because you shifted the assumptions within you. You start to notice how your reactions change. Doubt may appear, but it no longer controls you. Instead, you return to your truth. They are deeply in love with you. Situations that once triggered insecurity lose their power. You remain calm because you understand something deeper. The outer world is temporary, but your inner world is the true cause. That trust becomes your anchor. You may begin to notice small signs, conversations, songs, moments that seem to reflect your inner state, but you don't depend on them. You recognize them for what they are, reflections, not the source. The source is always within you. Your thoughts of them become softer, warmer, more peaceful. It feels as though there's a mutual awareness growing between you, like two minds meeting in the same space. You sense something shifting in their heart, and you know it's happening because of the love you've already accepted within yourself. Your intuition sharpens. You begin to feel their emotions, their longing, their connection to you. You no longer question whether they feel it. You experience it. Even your quiet moments change. At night, your inner conversations become comforting and real. You imagine them close to you, speaking with honesty and affection. These moments, especially before sleep, settle deeply into your subconscious, shaping a new emotional reality. Your body responds too. The tension fades. The anxiety disappears. In its place, you feel calm, grounded, secure. Your nervous system relaxes because it's no longer waiting. It's experiencing fulfillment. In your interactions with others, there's a quiet confidence in the way you speak and move. You don't seek validation anymore because you already feel complete within. You carry yourself like someone who is valued and desired, and people respond to that energy naturally. You become magnetic, not just to one person, but to life itself. And through all of this, you begin to understand what love really is. Not something you chase, but something you choose. You choose the state. You choose the experience within. And the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. Even if nothing seems to change immediately, you're no longer affected. You understand that everything you see is just a reflection of past assumptions. What you hold now is what shapes what comes next. And instead of forcing anything, you begin to enjoy the process. You enjoy the feeling. You enjoy the inner connection. You enjoy becoming someone who is secure, radiant, and deeply rooted in their own worth. As that enjoyment grows, life itself begins to feel lighter. Simple moments feel warmer. Your presence becomes both calm and magnetic. People respond to you differently. Opportunities seem to appear more easily. You're no longer trying to get something. You're expressing something from within. You start to realize that acting as if isn't fantasy. It's stepping into a truth that exists beyond what you can currently see. The unseen is the source of everything that becomes seen. So you move through life with that feeling as your guide. You respond with calm instead of fear. If something doesn't go as expected, you don't panic. You simply return to the knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. There's a deep ease in living this way. You stop overanalyzing. You stop searching for answers outside. You already know. You're no longer waiting for love. You're living from it. And as you continue in this state, the connection between you grows stronger. You feel closer to them than ever before. Not in a desperate way, but in a peaceful, grounded way. You begin to notice how natural it feels to know you are loved. What once felt like effort now feels effortless. And when something becomes natural within, it must become natural in your outer world. You might notice small reflections, hearing their name, receiving messages, experiencing moments that feel aligned. These aren't coincidences, they're echoes of your inner state. You begin to understand that you're not creating something new, you're selecting a version of reality that already exists, a version where they love you deeply, and by choosing it, you align with it. Life becomes a flow between your inner and outer worlds. Your imagination leads and reality follows. There's a quiet sweetness in realizing this. Love isn't something rare or distant. It's the natural expression of your own consciousness. And when you truly understand that, you stop seeking love, you start living from it. You become steady, you become safe, you become someone who no longer questions their worth because you understand that worth was never something you had to earn. Old patterns lose their hold. Old fears fade. You step fully into a new version of yourself, one that is already chosen, already valued, already loved. And from this identity, everything changes. You no longer try to prove yourself. You no longer wait for confirmation. You simply expect love, quietly, naturally, without resistance. And as you settle into that expectation, the world adjusts around you. People respond differently. Situations flow more smoothly. And the person you desire feels drawn to you in a way they can't explain. Because what you hold within is now shaping everything without. Your imagination becomes your place of rest. When old thoughts try to return, you gently guide yourself back to the feeling of being loved. Not forcefully, just softly, like returning to something familiar. Over time, that feeling becomes your home. Your reactions soften, your confidence deepens. You move through life with a certainty that doesn't need explanation. You don't question whether they care, you feel it. You don't wonder if it will happen, you experience it inwardly now. And because you experience it now, your subconscious accepts it as real. That's what changes everything. When your inner world becomes full, your outer world must reflect that fullness. You no longer see them as distant, you see them as connected to you. You no longer feel separated, you feel aligned, and from that alignment, everything begins to unfold naturally. You carry yourself with a quiet glow, a presence people can feel. You no longer protect your heart, you trust it. This version of you is calm, steady, and deeply confident, not loud or forceful, but grounded and real. And that energy is what draws them in. The connection deepens, not because you chase it, but because you live in it. So understand this, nothing is more powerful than the image you hold within yourself. You're not waiting to be chosen, you're deciding the outcome. When you assume they are in love with you, you step into a reality where that is already true, and reality must reflect it. So let this be the moment you stop searching outside and start giving yourself the feeling that changes everything. Stop doubting, stop chasing, step into your power. You are capable of creating the love you desire. So feel it, claim it, live in it until it feels natural. Because the moment you shift within, everything outside begins to rearrange. That's when things start flowing, messages, attention, connection. That's when they show up exactly as you imagined. Loving you, choosing you, moving toward you effortlessly. This is your moment. Not through force, but through quiet certainty. You are the one creating the story. And when you live from the ending becomes real. So move forward with confidence, knowing that what you desire is already yours. Because once it's real within you, the world has no choice but to reflect it. In the end, everything comes back to one truth. The reality you experience is shaped by the state you choose to live in. When you stop searching for love outside of you and begin to feel it as already yours within, everything changes. You become calm, certain, and deeply grounded. And from that place, the world has no choice but to reflect it back. You are not here to chase love, convince someone, or wait to be chosen. You are here to decide, to assume, to embody the version of yourself who is already loved, already valued, already desired. And when you remain faithful to that inner state, the outer world must align. So hold the feeling, return to it again and again until it becomes natural. Let go of doubt, ignore appearances, and trust in the unseen process unfolding in your favor. Because the moment you fully accept that you are loved, that love has no option but to meet you in reality. This is your power, this is your choice, and this is where everything begins. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss what we share here on The Neville Effect. And if you truly felt this, comment "chosen" below to affirm the reality you're stepping into.